What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault. At Sports Talk Matt is my handle across all socials to follow me. This podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. Go there, enter juice in the promo code. It will save you $30 off the already 50% off sale going on right now, the semi-annual sale going on at OmahaSteaks.com. Go check them out. Support our great title sponsor here for the podcast because, well, it's one of those weeks. Talked about it online a little bit, just about the roller coaster ride of all of this. And man alive, yesterday could have been a 3-0 day. Could have been. Islanders just couldn't get the go-ahead goal. They kept on playing catch-up, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, all the way up to overtime, in which they lost the game in overtime because they tied it up late at 4, down 4-3, got the tying goal, and then gave up the game winner in overtime. So unfortunately, we lost there. The over was the better play in that game. Then we got a miracle with the Astros. Probably should have lost that game. And then a complete collapse by Craig Kimbrell, who was a disaster. I mean, an absolute disaster. He's been a disaster everywhere. Dodgers, Red Sox, now the Phillies. I don't know how the guy keeps on getting jobs. I don't understand. 5-3 lead in the 8th. You lose that game? I mean, come on, man. Both series. It's crazy to watch some of the pitching staffs and some of the bullpen. I mean, the Rangers bullpen. I mean, once you get deep in that Rangers bullpen, it's tough, man. It's bad. And now a monster lead for the Astros, and just, you look at this and you're like, man, 3 games in a row. We go back to Houston now with a chance for the Astros to wrap things up. We'll see. I still think Game 6 can be won by the Rangers. And the Astros play really poorly at home, and Nathan Eovaldi going in Game 6. So I still tomorrow will look at leaning the Rangers' way. I'm not going to bet baseball today because I think the Phillies win today, but that was a shell shocker. I'll be curious to see how they bounce back from losing that game. No idea how they lost that. So 1-2 day, down 1.25 units on the day. And so now that's a bleed out. Okay, now I think we're down about 2 units for the week, heading towards Saturday. College football Saturday. I have way too many bets going for tonight. I mean, I have combat sports, not going to make it official. I've got hockey, 1 official, bunch of other plays I'll tell you about quickly. I've got 4 official bets in college football, but I've got more than that going in college football. So this is one of those days where I'm like, ooh, I like too many things on the board. I'm betting too many things on the board. Sometimes these days blow up in my face. Just talking history now, historically speaking, when I like this much, I normally don't do that well. Just saying it. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a good day today. And if I have a big day, 5 bets official, if we can go like 4-1, we'll go right back up into a spot where we're profitable for the week heading towards Sunday. So hopefully it's a winning day, 3-2, win a unit, and then get ourselves heading towards Sunday with another unit or win a couple units there, and then we'll have a profitable week. So that's the hope for today. All right, enough talking. Let's hit the bets. Let's start with the early game, Penn State and Ohio State. This is going to be an awesome football game. The number has been ping-ponging, 5.5, 5, 4.5. It's been going up and down as low as 4 also in this game. Penn State is really good. Okay, Penn State has been phenomenal against the number this season. They are 6-0 against the spread. They are 4-0 at home, 2-0 on the road. The road covers were at Illinois and at Northwestern. This is Ohio State. Much different. James Franklin has had a horrible record against Ohio State and Michigan. He really can't win the big one. This defense for Penn State is phenomenal. Penn State's 4-2 to the over, but mostly because of their offense against bad football teams. Penn State has given up 15-7, 13-0, 13-0 for points. Defensively, they're tremendous. Offensively, they've been playing cupcakes. UMass, 63 points. Northwestern, 41 points. Iowa, 31 points. Illinois, 30 points. Delaware, 63 points. All those teams, Iowa's defense is pretty good, but not good enough to stop Penn State. Northwestern, UMass, Illinois, Delaware suck defensively. On the other side, Ohio State's 5-1 to the under. Ohio State is at home, 2-1 to the under. The only game that went over was Western Kentucky, where they scored 63 points. Much like Penn State, Ohio State, 3 points, 7 points, 10 points, 14 points, 17 points, and 7 points given up defensively. 5-1 to the under, up against real good teams. I mean, Notre Dame, under. Purdue, under. Maryland, under. Indiana, under. What am I betting? Under. 45.5. This does lean towards the dog in Penn State covering a 5.5 point spread, okay? But I think Penn State's defense is really good. I love the start time here at noon Eastern for the under. I think as long as we don't see pick sixes and kick returns for touchdowns, I think we'll be good. I do think Penn State's got a shot to win the game, but only if we're talking like a 20-17 type of matchup, okay? For this game is getting in the 20s, that's real bad news for Penn State. Okay, you got to keep Ohio State under. Ohio State's team total, I believe, is 26. No, it's 23, 24 and a half, something like that. Got to keep Ohio State under their team total. If you can do that, this game will go under. I don't like Penn State's offense, not against Ohio State's defense. Under 45.5, 1.1 units, Penn State and Ohio State. Bet number 2. Let's go to Alabama at Tennessee. This is a 3:30 Eastern Time kickoff. The third Saturday in October, Alabama, Tennessee. This is a holiday in the South. Tremendous, tremendous game. Legendary, long time rivalry. They hate each other. Alabama lost last year to Tennessee on the road. Payback time here for the Crimson Tide. Numbers 8.5. Bama 4-3 ATS. Tennessee 4-2 ATS. Alabama's 2-2 at home. Tennessee 1-1 on the road. Last week, Alabama did not cover against Arkansas, mostly because they were just playing around in the second half and they kept Arkansas in the game for some dumb reason. 1-3, laying 19. They went to A&M, laid 2.5, 1-6. They went to Mississippi State, laid 16.5, 1-23. They were home against Ole Miss, laid 7. They won by 14. Now, Tennessee, on the other hand, was at home against A&M last week. They won by 7. Impressive. A&M kind of gave that game away, though. South Carolina, they won by 21 points at home. UTSA, laying 24. They won by 31. They've played one game on the road, Tennessee has, against Florida, laying 5. They lost by 13. That's not good. Here's the thing. I think this is the game in which Alabama offensively puts it all together. I think Jalen Milroe will play really well today. Bama's offense is scoring 30 points a game, okay? That's 44th best in the country. They're running the ball well, not awesome, but well. 3.8 yards per rush, 82nd best in the country. Tennessee's defense is tough to run on. However, I do think with Jalen Milroe is being able to run the ball, I think they'll be able to move the ball. Bama's been throwing the ball better than people think, including me. 9.5 yards per pass play, that's 10th best in the country. Tennessee's pass defense is pretty good, but they've played nobody. They really haven't played anybody, in particular on the road, up against a team like Alabama. On the other side, Bama's defense is starting to play pretty well. They're eighth in opposing rushing yards, 3.0 yards per rush, 6.2 plays per pass play. This is just a typical Nick Saban team, right? Everyone writes them off. They lose to Texas. I write them off. I say they're going to lose 2, 3, 4 games even. I thought they'd lose 2 games. I thought they'd have 2 losses by now heading towards Tennessee, and then I would have taken the Vols. Bama didn't do that. Bama circled the wagons. Bama's starting to play well. Nick Saban's got an opportunity here. Not loving the quarterback play for Tennessee. Not loving who the defense has faced on the road in Tuscaloosa. I'm laying the 8.5 points. Alabama minus 8.5. 1.1 units. One game off the beaten path. Georgia State at Louisiana. I'm like, Matt, really? Night game, 8 o'clock Eastern. Georgia State's 5-1. The Cajuns are 4-2. Georgia State coming off of a 41-24 win over Marshall. We were waiting on this. When would Georgia State go back on the road? Why? Because Georgia State in conference play is 9-1 ATS over their last 10 games. They're a dog. They're catching 3.5 points on the road against Louisiana. Been waiting, and now we get it. Road dog, Georgia State up against a conference opponent. I think the Panthers can win this game outright. But I'll take the plus 3.5. Georgia State's 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games on the road, 9-1 in their last 10 road games in conference ATS. This is sort of a trend play. I'm not even going to break it down. Just a trend play here. Plus 3.5. Georgia State at Louisiana, 1.1 units. And finally, for college football, we're going to go here to where I live, UNLV. Going to go against the trend here. UNLV is 6-0 ATS. They're at home, Allegiant Stadium. Here comes Colorado State. This is a big football game. CSU is 3-3 ATS. They've played on the road at Colorado. This environment will not be like that. But these are two explosive offenses. Colorado State scoring 29 points per game. UNLV is scoring 36.2 points per game. The passing attack for UNLV is tremendous. 7.6 yards per pass play. This defense, we saw it against Colorado. The Rams give up big plays. 112 passing yards per play, opposing yards per pass play, 8.5. They give up 323.6 passing yards per game. But on the other side, UNLV gives up 295 passing yards per game. UNLV is giving up 117 rushing yards per game. Colorado State's giving up 161.4 rushing yards per game. You want to talk about overs in this game? It's 61.5. You want to say, Matt, this game's going to fly over? I don't blame you. I'm betting the over, okay? 5-1 to the over, Colorado State. 4-2 to the over, UNLV. However, I'm a little concerned that Colorado State might actually win this game going away. I'm a little concerned about UNLV and their offense. A little concerned just because of what we've seen as to who they have played. Scoring 31 points against Boise last week for CSU was impressive. They gave up 30, but they scored 31. They were able to score 24 points against Utah State, but they gave up 44 points. That's not good, but they scored 24 against a pretty good defense. They played Colorado, and they scored 35 on them. They played Washington State, they scored 24 on them. Here's my problem for UNLV. Nevada, bad. They scored 45, gave up 27. Hawaii, bad. They scored 44, but they gave up 20. UTEP, bad. Scored 45, gave up 28. Vanderbilt, 40-37. They won, but Vandy's not very good. They won that game at home. Michigan, they scored 7, gave up 35. Against Bryant, they scored 44, gave up 14. I think 7.5 points is too heavy. I think it's too heavy. I'm going to take the 7.5, Colorado State. You want to bet the over 61.5? Don't hate it, okay? Not at all. Just worried that if UNLV scores, 24 points, and it's a 28-24 game, it's a back-and-forth battle, but CSU wins the game and UNLV doesn't. It just doesn't get there. It gets to like 58, 59, 60, doesn't get to 62. That's my concern. I think you're good, but there's been some movement on the under. It was 62.5 at one point. Now it's 61.5. I'm a little concerned about the pros coming in and betting the under for that reason because they think CSU is live. Dog in the under, maybe. I think it's safer to play the dog. Plus 7.5. That hook matters. Don't do 7, 7.5. Okay? I care about that hook. UNLV, I don't think they go to 7-0 ATS. They may win the game. Game may go over. Don't mind, UNLV money line or over. Don't mind those two bets. I'm on the over already, but officially taking the dog plus the points. Plus 7.5 for Colorado State on the road at UNLV. Okay? If you want other bets for college football, let's see what else have I bet here. Minnesota, Iowa. Okay. I'm betting it. I can't make you guys bet it. Okay. It's the lowest total. If it closes at 30.5, it's the lowest total in the history of non-military schools. Seriously. 30.5. I bet the under just because. I can't recommend it for you guys because it could easily go over. 17-14 is a loss. Okay. That's insanity, but it is. 17-14 is a loss for Iowa, Minnesota. So if you want to suffer through something else, you want extra, under 30.5, Iowa and Minnesota. That total is, I cannot get over that total. Wisconsin, Illinois, under that game as well, 40.5, under in that game. You want to jump in on that? I want to see Iowa. How many Minnesota games? I know Iowa's only gone over 2 times, but Minnesota has gone over 3 times. So a little more, Minnesota's gone over the last 3 games. Northwestern, Louisiana, and Michigan. Losing 34-37, winning 35-24, and losing 52-10. So not really interested in getting that official, but if you want it, 30.5 under, there's another bet for you guys on that. Okay, one hockey play to give you guys. Stars are at home. Ottinger is in net. Whenever we have the Stars at home and Ottinger is in net, I'm going to bet under. It's 6. The Flyers are 3-1 to the under this season so far. The Stars are 3-0 to the under so far this year. Ottinger's in net. When that happens, I'm taking 6. I'm going under. Under 6, -110. Stars and the Flyers for 1.1 units. Okay? There's the one official play for hockey. If you want extra, Avalanche team total over 3.5 up against the Carolina Hurricanes. Fredrickson is in net here today for Carolina. That is, well, he's been confirmed. It's expected. Okay, hopefully it's Anderson, Frederick Anderson. Fredrickson, I was combining his name. Anderson. He's been giving up goals like crazy for Carolina. They've been scoring like crazy too. Game over, I don't mind, but I'd rather do team total Avalanche. After watching them play at home in the last game, they were flying. Their offense is just so potent. Over 3.5 for team total for the Avalanche, and puck line or under either bet for the Vegas Golden Knights. Under 6.5 for Vegas, -132 is not horrible. 5-0 to the under for the Blackhawks so far this season. Vegas is 4-1 to the under. And Hill is expected to start. I got to see. It's supposed to be Soderblom for Chicago. If it's Soderblom and it is going to be Hill in net, I might add that under. There's a possibility. That's a 5 o'clock Pacific time start, 8 p.m. Eastern time start. Depending on how the day goes, there could be an ad. I may add another bet and have it be 6 official plays, because I mean Vegas and Chicago under 6.5 should be pretty good. Okay, if it's Hill and Soderblom, it should be good. But that is a play I will make later in the day most likely, or maybe make it official. Puck line also for Vegas. I may jump in on that. Although Vegas is very good on the puck line. They're 4-1, but the Blackhawks are 3-2. So I'm a little bit concerned about a 1-goal win for Vegas. Maybe being like a 3-2 win for Vegas with the home opener for Chicago. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement. That building's going to be buzzing for Connor Bedard. Maybe over on a shot prop for Connor Bedard if you want to jump in on that. So a lot of things in action. Finally, I think the main event for UFC 294, I've been so bad betting combat sports. I'm not betting it, but I think that there's 2 bets you could seriously make and feel pretty good about it, just depending on the juice and how you go and search it around. But I think if you look at, and I hate the boost here, but Makhachev and Chimaev to win, FanDuel has boosted it to +130. It should be -120. It should be +130. Normally boosts I hate, but I don't know. I think Makhachev's going to beat Volkanovski, but I'm not positive. I would prefer that fight inside the distance, that it won't go to the cards for either fighter, because I'm not sure about Volkanovski's overall conditioning, taking a fight on 12 days' notice. So I'm not sure. He cut 26.5 pounds in 11 days. 26.5 pounds in 11 days. That kills your stamina. I don't care who you are. You're a human being. That kills your stamina. So I think Volk might try to stop the fight early, get it done. And if not, Makhachev might submit him early. So I don't think that fight goes to the distance like it did the first time. So that fight inside the distance or not to go to the cards, that's -124 for that fight not to go to the cards. That's a good play. I like that. I might make that personally. I'm not sure. But again, I'm not great at combat sports, so we're not making this official. And then in the co-main event with Chimaev against Usman, I think Chimaev's going to stop Usman. I think Usman taking the fight on short notice, I don't like it. The fight not going the distance is minus 210. If you want to get on that, the under in the fight is minus 160 for 2.5 rounds. I'd rather have inside the distance, but you also can have method of victory here if you want. For Chimaev, some books would offer everything except winning by points. That's a bet I would like for Kazmat Chimaev. I think he wins and beats Kamaru Usman into the distance. So there you go. Take what you want out of those plays. Officially, I gave you a lot. Maybe I'll go back and listen to this podcast more than once. Officially, our plays are Penn State, Ohio State under 45.5. Georgia State plus 3.5 on the road at Louisiana. Alabama minus 8.5 at home against Tennessee. Colorado State on the road at UNLV plus 7.5. Stars and the Flyers under 6. 1.1 units on all those plays here. 5 official plays, 5.5 units in play for us here on a Saturday. Hopefully we have a good Saturday. Had a bad Saturday last weekend. Let's hopefully have a good Saturday. Let's see what my college football record is real fast before we run here. Official college football record so far for the 2023 year is 33-19 so far. We're up 12 units in college football. So let's add to that and let's have a good Saturday. Hockey is it's the whole calendar year. So far for the calendar year, 106-96, 52.5% of the time. We're up 4.47 units in hockey. Although that would be we lost that bet last night, so that's not correct. So it would be 3.47 or 3.37 that we're up in hockey. So baseball, amazingly enough, baseball, we're 130 and 122. It's incredible. We're up 0.08 in baseball. As I said, if I can get through the whole baseball year being flat, not lose any money, that is the goal. We're almost there. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast. Let's have a good Saturday here. OmahaSteaks.com, the title sponsor for us. BettingPros.com/chat to get into the Discord channel. Daily Juice every morning being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.